following is a special presentation of ESPN Classic.
It's another Wednesday night, and we find ourselves in the storied heartland of America, the campus of the University of Notre Dame. Our final stop on our turn back the clock journey of 2005. Once again, we'll enjoy college basketball, old school style, as the Notre Dame Fighting Irish play the host of the Scarlet Knights of Rutgers, live on ESPN Classic. Welcome to the Joyce Center. Rutgers and Notre Dame in another Big East game as the season winds down, and for us, as we said, our final stop here on the Classic. But let's turn back the clock now to a fellow that played here in Notre Dame in the 50s, not long ago. Tommy Hawkins, an All-American, went on to play 10 years with the Lakers. And may I say good afternoon and good evening to you. I'm Jim Simpson. And I don't know whether talked about Tommy Hawkins about his time at Notre Dame or our time before there was an ESPN, and we worked together 6 years for NBC. Do we talk about the near plane crash? Do we talk about the car accident? Or do we talk about basketball?
Well, we're going to talk about basketball, and we're going to talk about some of the good old days, too. But I can remember, Jim, when you and Kurt Gowdy took me under your wings when I was just getting out of pro basketball, and we traveled all over the country for 6 years. We were the A team for NBC. It was great.
And now we're the #1 team for Classic tonight. But let's meet the players of both teams, Rutgers and Notre Dame, and go to our PA announcer, John Thompson.
Ladies and gentlemen, now let's meet the starting lineups for tonight's ball game. First, for the visiting Scarlet Knights of Rutgers, a 6'4" senior from Upper Marlboro, Maryland, number 2, Ricky Shields. A sophomore at 6'3" from Brooklyn, New York, number 5, Quincy Douby. A 6'5" sophomore from Patterson, New Jersey, number 1, Marquise Webb. A 6'9" sophomore from Baltimore, Maryland, number 21, Byron Joyce. And a 6'7" freshman from Chicago, Illinois, number 40, Ollie Bailey. The head coach of the Scarlet Knights, now in his 4th season, a 1975 graduate of Ferris State, Gary Waters. And now the starting lineup for your Fighting Irish. A 6'2" junior from Dublin, Ohio, and Morrissey Hall, number 2, Chris Quinn. A sophomore at 6'5" from Park Ridge, Illinois, and Stanford Hall, number 15, Colin Falls. A senior at 6'9" from Halstead, Kansas, number 41, Dennis Lattimore. A 6'11" junior from Boston, Massachusetts, and Knott Hall, number 34, Torrin Francis. He's a senior at 6'1" from Indianapolis, Indiana, and St. Ed's Hall, number 1, Chris Thomas. And the head coach of the Fighting Irish, now in season number 5, Mike Bray. And the 6th man for the Irish.
Running back the clock, grab the lineups again if you did not hear. And talking about Thomas, number 1 of Notre Dame, he's one of only 3 players in NCAA history to have more than 2,000 points and 800 assists. That's right, 800 assists. Rutgers 9-16, 2-12 in the conference. They've lost 5 of 6 games by 5 points or less. Notre Dame 16-9, 8-6, and they are your referees for tonight. Tim Higgins, Bob Donato, and Carl Hess are the 3 that'll work the game tonight. Notre Dame, Tommy, still thinks that it has a chance to go on to the NCAA, depending on what happens in the Big East Conference tournament that starts on the 9th of this month, as a matter of fact.
That's right, 9th through the 12th, Jim. And it's been a little bit of a disappointing season for Notre Dame. They didn't get everything that they wanted, but they're in one of the toughest, if not the toughest, conference in college basketball. 16-9 overall and 8-6 in conference.
A lot of people will say, what about the ACC? They've got top 4 or 5 teams, but the Big East has them all the way down to the end. For example, Rutgers has lost 5 of 6 games that have been decided by 5 points or less. Notre Dame's working on a 2-game losing streak, having lost to Connecticut and to UCLA. This is Rutgers in the darker uniforms. And that's Douby. He's a great outside shooter. And from the corner, there is number 1, and that is Marquise Webb, and it's 2-0. Rutgers, Thomas trying to drive by Webb. He's a man that sets it up. There's Quinn, the other man in the backcourt that is so valuable.
And Coach Waters likes a switching man-to-man defense if he can do it. He thinks he can play Notre Dame man-man and heads up. This will be a good one because all of them love to shoot the threes.
That's Thomas, and Rutgers got the rebound. By the way, Dennis Lattimore is not the usual starter. He's starting over Jordan Cornette tonight in front court for Notre Dame. Now you got everything in order. Let's watch the game. Shot by Bailey, and it's brought down by Notre Dame. Way short. Here's Thomas with all of those assists and over 2,000 points. Oh, look at Francis all by himself, and it's 2 all.
And that's his game. Francis is an inside man. He's a big bumper, and he loves, you put the pass right there on the floor where he can handle it, he'll give you the inside game. Something that Notre Dame hasn't had consistently this season.
Rutgers, a very young team, learning. And as their coach, Gary Waters, said today, they'll probably be more experienced next year. But right now, they're still in the learning process and realizing they're playing at such games as Madison Square Garden and the Joyce Center here.
As we take a look at the Big East standings, Notre Dame still feels we have Boston College, Connecticut, Syracuse, Villanova, Pittsburgh. And then we come down to Georgetown and Notre Dame. Notre Dame wants to finish out the season with victories over Rutgers and Pittsburgh, and they think they can go into the conference tournament and get it done.
I think that's a tip in there. That was Webb who took the shot, and I think Carter tipped it in.
Of course, I think they can make it. But they're going to have better inside play. That is a key to their success as we go down the stretch.
Joyce is the man who tipped it in, number 21. Thomas trying to get by Webb, who's probably their best defensive player. Here's Falls, a great outside shooter himself. Remember his game against BC? Couldn't miss. This is Lattimore making one of his rare starts tonight, going to take the shot and got it.
You know, with the prominence of the three-point shot, you've got to have that balance between inside and out. And Notre Dame just hasn't had it. They were really disappointed losing to UCLA in their last outing here at home.
And he goes up for it, but is brought down by Francis. They didn't even think of the three-point play. Look at Thomas put the elbow right into Webb, driving by him, getting it out to Francis, and this is his shot, but it's knocked away on a good play there by Joyce. I'm going to ask you a question here, but here's Douby, and the ball is knocked off the board there by Lattimore. And here come the Irish, and Quinn's going to take the three-pointer, and got it.
And listen, when Quinn, Falls, and Thomas are on, they can beat anybody.
That's the question I was going to ask. It was 20 years after you played that they had a three-pointer.
I know. A three-point shot could get you sitting on the bench when I played. You kidding me? It was unheard of.
That's Douby. He's just outstanding three-pointer, and I think he's fouled as he goes by. Hank Gray on the other side, who won his 100th game here at Notre Dame. He's up for 400 in his coaching careers in Delaware before that. Is hopeful that 7 Big East teams make the NCAA. He said some say 8, I think 7. That's still a lot.
Out of one conference, that's a lot to ask.
That's a lot. Our score remains 7-5. Notre Dame. Ball goes out of bounds and belongs to the Irish. And this
let's see if Rutgers will stay in that switching man-to-man. If in fact Falls and everybody, they're hitting that three, they may have to zone it.
10-5. And another three-pointer. When I tell you, when Falls heats up, and when Douby hits up for Rutgers, you're in for a treat.
Well, Douby is a great player for Rutgers because he can take it inside or he can shoot from out also.
Douby, and that breaks the 8-0 score run that Notre Dame had.
Love
Rutgers
it when you
gets back
predict
on the
the
board.
action.
And 8 to score. Ball's inside to Lattimore, who is in under the basket and loses the ball back to Webb.
Should have shot that one. It was overpassing.
Webb's going to take the shot for three. No. And that is Francis with the rebound. Quinn will bring it up. Quinn is a junior. Thomas is a senior.
Francis pulling down about 8 a game. And they need him on the boards. He's their big guy.
Underneath there, Lattimore with a reverse dunk.
Beautifully executed. And you talked about Thomas as a great three-point shooter, but he also leads the team in assists.
Well, he has over 800, as I said, plus 2,000 points. Only 3 in NCAA basketball history have done that. So watch him. He's number 1. This is Bailey. He's going to take it all the way in and put it up and in. 12-10.
You look at the modern big players, they put it on the floor, and they've got moves that you never saw 20 years ago.
Francis wants to take the shot but can't get it away and puts it right down to Shields at Rutgers. He's going to stop and put it up and off the backboard, and Quinn has a rebound.
For a 6'3" guy, Quinn hops up pretty good. He's good on the boards, and let's see if Notre Dame can continue their outside shooting.
Time is called.
Jim. Here's Thomas inside. Francis up off the glass. Beautiful.
12-10, Notre Dame. Turning back the clock. The late, great, and beloved Jim Valvano played at Rutgers from 1964 to 67, scoring 1,122 points. His V Foundation continues to raise money for the fight against cancer. To donate, you can log on to www.jimmyv.org or call 1-800-4JIMMY-V. Rutgers. By the way, one of my heroes of years ago went to Rutgers. His name was Ozzie Nelson. Remember Ozzie and
Ozzie Nelson?
Oh, sure.
A lot of great alums from Rutgers. Paul Robeson. Queen Latifah.
I want to tell you, looking here just before the half here, that's Quinn taking the three-shotter and has it. The three-pointer. 15-10. And most of Notre Dame, with a notable exception of Lattimore, has been hit from outside. There's Shields, and here's Webb. Thought he was open for the moment. He's going to take it all the way in, and he does not get fouled, and the ball goes out of bounds and belongs to the Irish. What do you think? I'm looking at Hank Brave right there, but you have mentioned this afternoon in the shoot-around the pants, the shorts, if they can be called shorts anymore, of today's basketball players.
They're bloomers. You got to do something about this. I mean, they're too long. They're too baggy. I don't want to go back to the shorts that we wore, but I think that they could cut those down a little bit. I don't know how they run with those things on.
Cut them off by foot, you'd never notice. Francis, and the pass for him from Cornette, who has just come into the ball game, is wide.
Cornette is way out of his range for passing like that. By the way, Chris Thomas already has 5 assists. He will give it up. And you know, he's coming off of knee surgery. And I'm amazed that he's been able to come back because it was very serious surgery.
Shields takes his second shot, joins us there. He's a muscle man. And a foul is called.
And it's on Shields. He was flexing too much muscle under there.
Rutgers player control foul, number 21, Byron Joyce, his first.
Here we go. It's off the back, and there he is. And then you see he leans in with the shoulders and the elbow and puts it back up and gets called for the foul.
He only weighs 270.
Yeah, nice linebacker for somebody.
He takes the shot. This is not a three-pointer, and it's not good either. And there's Joyce with the rebound. Nope, off the front of the rim. Shields can hit from out there. He'll back it up, though, with falls on him. Saw something today, Tommy, I've never seen. Some of the Notre Dame players shooting around pre-game. There's Douby, and he's got it, shooting around with the Rutgers players.
Yeah, we could get arrested for that. You never fraternize with anybody, but seemed to work well here. And you talk about shoot-arounds. These guys were out here for an hour and a half today.
At least.
They were working really hard. And Coach Waters says that's the way he wants it.
Thomas misses, and Rutgers has a rebound. They trail by 2 here in the first half. That is Douby. You know he's looking for a chance to shoot if he can get one. But he doesn't. And for a moment, whoop, right off the hands of Joyce.
You know, when you talk about the three-pointers,
There's a timeout on the board.
6 of 10 on three-pointers so far, the teams combined.
Notre Dame leads by 2. David Rivers was a point guard here at Notre Dame for 4 seasons, 1,058 points and 586 assists. Rivers led the Irish to 4 straight NCAA tournament appearances, played 3 seasons in the NBA, went on to start. Digger Phelps, sitting where you are, Tommy, said a lot of good things about David Rivers.
He was a great backcourt man. You know, he had that accident. And
I know.
No one thought he would ever come back from the car accident.
For a while, they didn't think he's going to live, let alone come back. Notre Dame is shooting 60%. Rutgers only 36%. Notre Dame's got 6 rebounds. Rutgers has got 7. And the score is 15-13. Notre Dame, and they've got the ball. First time Israel is in. His number is 5. Cornette is out. And the other Cornette is in, Rick Cornette, and he takes that shot. This is the junior from Country Club Heights, Illinois, number 11. Number 12 is Jordan Cornette out of Cincinnati.
TTE, and Rick doesn't have an E after his Cornette.
Waterstad is in for Rutgers. He's got the ball now.
Waterstad is 6'11".
Oh, loose from the side, and he misses the shot. That was Wiggin, who's a pretty good three-point shooter. He is just coming to the ball game. Joel Wiggin.
Will do it.
There's Cornette in the corner, and Inglis is on him, number 55. There's Israel, and talk about a charge. Do you think that was a charge?
No, it can't be any argument on that one. That was a freight train coming through there. Amazing. Player control is right. Here we go. He's coming down the middle. I don't care who's there. I'm going to the hoop.
Thomas now has 6 assists for Notre Dame, but it's still a 4-point ball game. There's Waterstad, who just came in. Quezada is in also, number 10, as Gary Waters is substituting liberally. Douby remains in. Douby feeds it off. And taking it in is Inglis, the junior out of St. Lucia, down in the Caribbean, almost down far south of Barbados. Beautiful spot. You just cannot have a ball club these days without somebody without St. Lucia or Nigeria or Mozambique or Australia.
Taking a look at this beautiful electronic scoreboard. When I played back in the old Notre Dame field house, they hung the score on racks on a nail.
There's Thomas from outside, and it's off the back of the rim, and Waterstad has the rebound for Rutgers. Well, remember in the old baseball days, somebody would sit out on the scoreboard, and a run would score, and you'd see a hand come out, A score go back, another score come in, and Douby scores for Rutgers.
Notre Dame not playing good interior defense right now. Rutgers going right down the lane.
Thomas is fouled and is fouled by Wigan. Non-shooting foul. Quinn is going to come back in for Notre Dame. Francis is going to come back in for Notre Dame. Lattimore is going to come back in for Notre Dame.
Taking a look at the last Rutgers basket, you know, you just can't allow that type of penetration.
Here's Quinn who just came in. Wigan is on him. Quinn's going to take the shot. Look at the dunk. Follow up by Israel out of Rockville, Maryland.
You know, you dream of getting a rebound like that. You're up, and he goes.
Douby answers, goes off Waterstat and right to Francis of Notre Dame. Lattimore is fouled by Waterstat.
Look, watch it. Watch this jam here. Comes off. Israel is up. Timing beautiful. Slam. Love it. Look, Mom, one hand.
Does anybody here realize, aside from me, and I didn't watch you play that much, that you played center at 6'5"? A center at 6'5"? You'd be a point guard these days.
Maybe.
Falls doesn't get the ball away because he's fouled by Wigan. That's going to be his second.
Looking at Bray's last substitute where he sent the 3 players in, he wasn't getting the outside shots to fall, and the inside guys weren't. Well, he's getting more of what he needed.
Falls, you would expect to miss. He only hits 92% of his free throw shots, and he did miss. I didn't mean it.
Yes,
Classics turn back to college basketball, presented by Budweiser. Colin Falls at the line in a 1917 game. Make it 20-17 Notre Dame. Bailey back in now for Rutgers, number 40. And for the first time, Keating, number 33, a freshman, is bringing the ball down court. You expect Shields and Douby to score, and they haven't done much yet. Webb will seldom take the shot from back here. And Shields is closely guarded by Falls, and he goes up and with one hand puts it up, and it's no good. Tipped up, no good, and the Irish come down with that's Israel over to Quinn. Falls, he can hit from there, and does not this time. And the ball is tipped out of bounds and belongs to the Rutgers. There's Webb to the corner, knocked away by Quinn and out of bounds.
You know, Quinn is a good little defensive player. You notice he's been pressuring the ball all the way up the court. He's got good active hands.
Our score 20-17 Notre Dame. Rutgers has only won 9 of their 25 games last year. They won more than 20 in the finals of the NIT. But they lost their front line, and their ace player this year went out with an ACL injury. So Gary Waters is gerrymandering with what he's got. There's Joyce, and it's in and out, and Francis has a rebound for Notre Dame.
Notre Dame still hitting pretty good from the field, 53% to Rutgers 35.
Keating is going to be called with a foul on Quinn. 7:31 to go. We're at the Joyce Center on the campus of Notre Dame, and they lead by 3. Decades ago, they swallowed goldfish or sat on top of flagpoles. These days, they have a bubble race, and somebody's bound to fall down. But let's turn back the clock here at the Joyce Center. Eddie Jordan started Rutgers from 1973 to 77. He's the school's 6th all-time leading scorer, helped the Scarlet Knights to the Final Four his junior season, and currently coaches the Washington Wizards, who at last look were 8 games above the 500 mark. I asked you, Tommy, earlier today, who was your coach in 10 years of the Lakers? And you had to give me a list as long as my arm.
Yeah, Fred Schaus, Bill Van Bredekoff, and then in Cincinnati there was Jack McMahon, Charlie Wolf. I think I had 6 coaches in 10 years. And not a stable profession at that time.
And as you used to say when I talk about other people who retired early at that time, you didn't make any money.
No.
Not like today.
So you don't look to stay around for 15 years. You wanted to get out of there and do what you were going to do next in your lifetime.
biggest lead of the night is duplicated by Notre Dame. They lead by 5, 22-17, 7:20 to go. And Rutgers has almost been shut down from their outside game. There's Bailey underneath, and he puts it up and misses, and he's fouled.
Rutgers is a young team. 13 of the 16 players on the squad are either in their first or second year. So Coach Waters is building, and he says he was disappointed going to the NIT tournament, winning 20 games the previous year. But this is rebuilding, and he expects big things. He says he's recruited well.
Here's Bailey's a freshman, a 65% free throw shooter, and misses that one. But Gary Waters, the coach, has great hopes for Ollie Bailey out of Chicago. You know, Rutgers is no small school. 35,000 enrollment and is the 8th oldest college university in the United States. 1756, 220 years before we were a bona fide country.
Exactly. And you know who founded it?
Give me the Colonel Henry bit.
Colonel Henry Rutgers, a Revolutionary War hero, founded Rutgers. So something you've always wanted to know.
Francis puts it outside into Francis again, and he's going to take the shot. No good, and there's a good rebound there, tough rebound by Joyce. Shields goes in, and that does not go in. And look at that reverse layup there by Shields. And it's 22-20. That's the second reverse layup we've seen tonight. Lattimore had a great one for Notre Dame. That's Lattimore we're talking about. This time he doesn't need the reverse because he's fouled there by Bailey. Great attendance always here at the Joyce Center. This place, Tommy asked the SID today, that's the Sports Information Director, before. Well, he said because of the snow we may miss 100. Not 1,000 or 5,000. They load this place up. This is Lattimore at the line. Just about a 50% free throw shooter. And that was Joyce with yet another rebound. Big, tough guy.
Joyce and Francis, a good matchup in the post. Both big, wide bodies.
Bailey puts it up and is not in, and Joyce tries to tip it in and now gets the ball away from Lattimore. Rutgers retains possession. 2-point ball game, 6 minutes to go, first half. ESPN Classic's final of a 9-game schedule, turning back the clock. You've enjoyed it? And we finish it at Notre Dame. Douby's going to take the shot, and no, they say it's blocked. It is not a foul, or is it a foul? It is a foul on Quinn.
This Quinn conked him on the head there. Douby lost his balance and came down. Right. Here we go. He's going up. Bam.
It's a right to the head and the left to the body.
I know. That'll get your attention.
Douby is a great three-point shooter and the leading scorer on the team, but only hits about 3/4 of his free throws. But he got that one. We got a 1-point ball game. At one time, remember, a moment ago, it was a 5-point ball game.
I guess in favor of the three-point shot, you can say that's what makes it so exciting. Because even if you're out of it, a couple of threes, and you're right back in it. So you always have a contest. So no one is sitting in the stands bored.
Well, Rutgers now, if Douby makes this one, will lead for the first time since it was 2-0.
Rutgers wants this one badly.
And they have the lead by 1, 23-22.
Ultimately important for Rutgers to win here at Notre Dame tonight because it's a preview of what's to come.
But there's Falls with a 2-pointer, and it's 24-23. That's Webb keeping the ball in play for Rutgers. Rutgers seems to play very, very well, and then youth catches up to them at the end of the game, and they've lost those 5 games that have been decided by 5 points or less.
5 points or less. And that's experience.
Ball goes out of bounds. The ESPN Classic has more great college hoops lined up for you starting tomorrow with complete coverage of the Central Intercollegiate Athletic Association's Championship Tournament. This great Division II tourney starts tomorrow afternoon at 1 o'clock Eastern with the quarterfinals, then continues into the weekend with the semifinals Friday at 7, the championship Saturday at 6. It is more live college basketball destined to be a classic right here on ESPN Classic. For more information, log on to ESPN.com. Cornette puts it up and in. That is Rick Cornette, number 11, not Jordan Cornette, number 12. 26-23. Notre Dame.
You know, when you look at the scoring of these two teams, they're each averaging about 70 to 72 points a game. And I'm not surprised that it's close. They're similar teams in terms of their dependence on the outside shooting. And also, here's a drive.
5, fouled number 5. 5, Douby was fouled by 5, Israel of Notre Dame, and we'll get 2 shots.
Douby has a lot of acrobat in him. He goes in there and he changes and he flips. Beautiful to watch.
Well, Douby is just doing a great job from the free throw line. Quinn is coming back in, and Israel will check out. So falls. Both Cornettes are in. Rick and Jordan and Quinn. Drops them all through. And the 5th man for Notre Dame is, of course, Thomas, who's got the ball now.
You need, you have Joyce and Inglis in there, so you need the Cornettes in there. 4 big bodies going at it.
There's falls, but that won't count, even though it's a great three-pointer. Blocking charge.
Irish foul number 11, Rick Cornette is first.
So that is Rick Cornette.
Number 6.
As Tommy said, Jordan Cornette, number 12, has an E at the end of his name, and Rick Cornette, number 11, does not. But they pronounce it the same way. Douby, he's their leading scorer. The man who's really been quiet has been Shields. There's Webb, as far as scoring is concerned. Ball does not drop for Inglis. Well, we've got 3:54 to go, and it's 26-25. Notre Dame leads.
ESPN Classic caps off Black History Month with 3 days of excitement from America's oldest black college conference. Experience the 2005 Ford C.
Back at the Joyce Center on the campus University of Notre Dame, and the Fighting Irish are leading Rutgers 26-25. Let's turn back the clock. The all-time leading scorer at Notre Dame is not Tommy Hawkins, but is Austin Carr. 1968 to 1971, Carr amassed 2,560 points. In the 1970 NCAA tournament, he lit up Ohio University for 61 points. Carr wanted to play 10 seasons in the NBA, as did Tommy Hawkins. It was an All-Star in 1974, and I know at one time you were the all-time leading scorer.
Exactly, but Austin told me he came to Notre Dame specifically to get my record.
He did a heck of a job.
He wiped me out. It's okay. I'm still in the top 10.
Inglis puts it in for Rutgers. And, folks, we've got a tie ball game at 26 with 3:54 to go in the first half.
How is Rutgers hanging in? Only shooting a little over 30%, 33%. They have 10 second chance baskets. Means they're on those offensive boards pretty well. So
Notre Dame has had 2 5-point leads, but now they trail by 1. Thomas has almost been silent also scoring-wise. That's Francis trying to get the shot away. He's going to take it and has it.
When he puts his body on you and he feels you, he moves you around pretty good. And Inglis is a big guy, number 55 in there for Rutgers. Francis can tussle with them all.
He's 6'11", and he weighs more than 250 pounds. So he's no small man. This is Joyce, a tough man underneath, looking to pass it. Webb looked like he was free, and then has the ball batted away, but keeps it in play. Douby. Well, they're going to call a charge on him.
Yeah.
Stay with us at halftime for more excitement and reminiscing. We continue to turn back the clock coverage here in South Bend. Tom and I will continue our stroll down memory lane if you care. And we'll also look back on the memorable 1976 NCAA Final Four run by Rutgers. All that plus our distinguished alumni, including a feature look at former Irish star Kelly Tripucka. That's all coming your way at halftime. Once we get through with this first half, which has been a very close game. And from outside, that is Cornette missing. And underneath, that is the young man and short man, Douby. Looks like he wants to score, but he's covered up quickly by Quinn. ESPN's Classics Turn Back the Clock College Basketball is presented by Budweiser. Hank Bray, as he called timeout. No, the ball is simply going out of bounds. ESPN Classic brings you more great live sports action this weekend. We showcase the first round of 2005 Davis Cup. We've had some great Davis Cup matches here on ESPN. We'll go against Croatia. That's ESPN Classic starting 5 o'clock Eastern Time Sunday. For more information, log on to ESPN.com. Thomas couldn't get the shot away there, covered up by Webb. Gets it underneath to Francis, who puts it up, and not good. Joyce goes up for it, but it is Inglis who comes down with it. Douby puts it off the glass and does not have it. Underneath, Inglis is fouled by Cornette, I believe.
That's when two worlds collide out there. Inglis and Francis in there. Got to stop some of that interior passing into the center there, both teams.
There have been some notable inside shots, but not much inside play today. Inglis misses.
Watch this one. Bam, right in the face. That'll make your nose water, I tell you. And everybody says Notre Dame or basketball is a semi-finesse game. It isn't. It's very physical.
Is it more physical now than when you played 40, no, not 40 years ago, but doggone near 40 years ago than it is now?
It is. And the bigger players are much more mobile, have much more speed.
28-28, less than 2 minutes to go. First half, South Bend, Indiana. Quinn. On him is Quezada. That's Falls. Looked like he wanted a shot. Tried to get it to Francis, and it was off Francis's hand. Francis thought it went off the hands of Inglis, but the official says otherwise.
Know what's missing in the game today as we flash back? Most teams don't have a decent mid-range game. It's either inside and a slam or it's a three-pointer. And I think coaches need to develop that mid-range game.
Have you brought that up to coaches?
I have, and they told me to mind my business.
Webb is going to take a rare shot for him off the rim, and a great rebound by Francis, who was almost rim high.
You know, here's Thomas, a great three-point shooter. If I took a three-point shot, they would sit me down.
Thomas misses, but is fouled. Less than a minute to go in the first half, which had been close. As we said, the Irish had 2 5-point leads, but the Scarlet Knights, who've only won 9 games all year and only 2 in the Big East, are hanging in there.
They're doing it with defense, and they're doing it with rebounding. They're playing great switching man-to-man defense and are frustrating the Irish. Irish got off to a good start, hit some great three-pointers, but they're not getting them with any regularity. So that inside game is going to have to develop now. Francis is going to have to get it and handle it. I hope that Francis during the offseason will work on his ball handling inside, because I think that he hasn't come near his potential yet.
Almost gets the first one. That breaks the tie. Remember, and I think we told you earlier, the Irish are working on a 2-game losing streak to Connecticut and to UCLA. And Thomas hits both of them. He's a 70% free throw shooter. And now, with 55 seconds to go, it's a 2-point ball game with the Irish leading.
The Irish close out against Pittsburgh on Saturday, and Rutgers will go home and host Boston College.
What Pittsburgh did to Boston College the other night. Pittsburgh's a good ball club, a real good ball club, and man, they really handled. Coached by Bob Wenzel, the Scarlet Knights were nipped in the first round by ASU, Arizona State, 79-76. As we turn back the clock, and we've been doing it since January. Hope you have enjoyed it. Gary Waters' 4th year at Rutgers. Over 20 games last year, finals of the NIT. Lost his front line, lost his star to an ACL injury, and is doing the best he can developing this very young Rutgers team that's won only 9 games all year out of the 25 they play. They've got a chance to tie or go ahead with 20 seconds to go. And Douby, their outside shooter's not in there, but Shields puts it up and no good. There's a good rebound there by Inglis, and he is not, yes, he is fouled. He should be. He was knocked to the turf.
Francis looked at the ref and he said, what do you mean? I was just going for the rebound. And the ref said, it's how you went for it that I'm questioning.
Inglis hit on his previous 2, and he's a better than 60% free throw shooter, so he has a chance to tie the game with these 2. And within a point. Quinn is coming back in, and Israel is bowing out for Notre Dame. Douby, 13 points, 3 for 6. And Falls of Notre Dame, 9 points, 3 for 4. Missing are the names of Thomas and Douby, which you would expect to see up there. And Shields, I should say. Now the chance to tie. As well, does not go in. And lost out of bounds. Thomas stepped on the end line.
That's why you got to talk to each other. I got it. Back off. You don't want to give this away.
With that, they're sending quickly, excuse me, Tommy, they're sending Bailey and Douby back in now that they're going to get the ball under Notre Dame's basket.
Because you can get, it's a difference between going into the locker room behind and possibly going in with the lead.
That's Douby. You can watch the clock. Lower part of your screen. Only play for 1. Hank Gray is asking his team to come out defensively. They're in straight man-to-man. Counting down. You're watching the clock with us. Douby's the man who can hit from out here. Douby's going to take the shot, and it's going to be no good. And there's a good rebound by Francis. And time is going to run out, and it's going to be way short. So Notre Dame goes to the locker room leading by only 1 point. 30-29. Twice they had 5-point leads. Hank Gray, who won 2 weeks ago his 100th here at Notre Dame, goes in now trailing by the 1 as we're turning back the clock, presented by Budweiser.
Saturday night. There's something.
ESPN Classic Turn Back the Clock College Basketball, presented by Budweiser, is brought to you by Budweiser. For a limited time, go back in time to the Budweiser Eagle Claw can from 1936. And welcome back to the Joyce Center here on the campus of the University of Notre Dame. It is halftime of the game between the Scarlet Knights of Rutgers and the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame. Let's turn back the clock to some of the famous alums. First of all, those who've attended Rutgers. Turning back the clock, soprano star James Gandolfini. And remember former Ally McBeal star Callista Flockhart? Secretary of State Condoleezza Rice got her master's degree in political science here in South Bend in 1975. And Martin Sheehan is also a Notre Dame alum. Sheehan plays the President Bartlett on the West Wing. Other Rutgers notables, how about Jim Valvano, the late Jim Valvano, who won the 1983 NCAA championship at North Carolina State. Looking down your list, Notre Dame, how about Marielle Zagunas? She was the 2004 Olympic fencing champion, and that's the first U.S. fencing gold won in 100 years. She's a teenager. She doesn't get out of school until 2008. How about that? Let's turn back the clock even more. Let's go back to basketball. Kelly Tripucka was a 4-year basketball star here at Notre Dame. As a freshman, he helped the Fighting Irish to the first and only Final Four appearance. That was in 1978. With more on number 44, here's John Buchagras.
Tripucka behind a lot of screens. His 18-footer is that good. Tripucka to the hoop and scores. Tripucka and jamming down the baseline.
What I loved about Tripucka was his fierce competitiveness. He was such a fierce competitor, always played with such passion, such feeling, such emotion.
Kelly Tripucka led the Fighting Irish to 4 straight trips to the NCAA tournament. A 2-time second-team All-American, Tripucka ranks 9th on Notre Dame's all-time scoring list.
Kelly was an academic All-American, one of the great scorers ever, and could score points and make things happen, had a lot of confidence in his game.
Teamed with high-flying forward Orlando Woolridge, the 1981 Irish were expected to go deep into the big dance. They were 23-5 and just 8 seconds away from a trip to the Sweet 16. But a future Celtic had other ideas.
BYU was very, very good, and Danny Ainge, being a pro athlete in baseball, he wanted the ball, and we tried to trap him. Tim Andre had him at the top of the circle, couldn't do anything with him.
Inside, Ainge scores with 2 seconds.
Orlando Woolridge had a thigh contusion because he would have blocked that shot. But at that time, Danny just went right through and made the layup and put it in, and they beat us.
Tripucka's collegiate career came to a swift ending. There would be no luck of the Irish.
Kelly Tripucka went on to play 10 seasons in the NBA. Currently, a color analyst for the New Jersey Nets. Back to the Joyce Center here on the campus of the University of Notre Dame. But first, this pause. We're early talking about swallowing goldfish or sitting on top of flagpoles. This gal doesn't sit on top. She's on top of a unicycle. Look where she is, and she just flipped all of those plates, cups, whatever you want to call them, to the top of her head and got a standing ovation. Let's turn back the clock some more here at the Joyce Center. 1976, Rutgers shocked the basketball world with an inspiring run to the Final Four. The seeds for that team's success were planted by then a little-known assistant coach named Dick Vitale. I think he's known more now. With more, here's Neil Everett.
I know when I got there as an assistant coach, when I told them I wanted to go after the best, my initial reaction of a lot of people, well, this is Rutgers. I said, wait a minute, that is the problem.
Well, Dick Vitale. He told me I would be the man. I would come and, take Rutgers to another level that they have never been before.
You're talking about Phil Sellers, Mike Domney, greatest players in the country.
Dick Vitale saw the vision.
Vitale left Rutgers in 1972, but 3 years later, his recruits, Phil Sellers and Mike Dabney, along with added weapons like Eddie Jordan and James Bailey, led the Scarlet Knights to a stunning 28-0 regular season record.
We just kept winning.
The hype was incredible. Obviously, there was media from all over the country.
You wonder, how long is this going to happen? How long is this going to keep going?
In the NCAA tournament, for just the second time in school history, Tom Young's Rutgers squad reeled off 3 straight wins to reach its first and only Final Four.
That was a great run for Rutgers. Phil Sellers was a great player, and Tom Young made it happen, got to the Final Four.
All the chips fell in place, and we beat who we were supposed to beat, and some of the other major conference teams, they lost.
But the magic would not continue at the Final Four. Michigan raced out to a big lead. Rutgers never recovered, falling 86-70.
Michigan was certainly a great basketball team. And when you run into a buzzsaw like that, you run defeated, everybody pointing toward you, it's pretty difficult.
The shots they normally made during the game, they made, and the shots that we normally made, we didn't make. If we played them 5 times, I think we'd win 3 or 4 times.
Almost 30 years later, I can go to places, restaurants, still be recognized.
It was a long journey getting there. We had to take our lumps and getting to the Final Four. But the legacy that we left is excellence.
The other undefeated team that season was Indiana. That ran the table and won the 1976 championship. I'm Jim Simpson. This is Tommy Hawkins. We talked about everything else except you. 2 times All-American here. Your 4 years at Notre Dame. Your thoughts and your memories as you come back to South Bend.
Well, when I think back to that particular period, football was down. One year, I think 56, Notre Dame only won 2 games. And Paul Hornung won the Heisman Trophy. But Notre Dame was in the top 10 in basketball. 20 wins my sophomore year, 25 wins my junior year. We were 25-4. We were rated 7th in the nation, and we went to the Final 8.
And what happens this Saturday night?
This Saturday, the all-century team, 25 of Notre Dame's greatest. Right, and somebody said, okay, Tommy, I remember you're on that team, so come on back and celebrate.
Well, I know that John Heisler called and asked you if you'd say a few words. I think that's impossible. I think you'll say a lot of words, but I don't think you'll say a few words.
I said, how long? He said about 3 minutes. I said, I can't clear my throat in 3 minutes.
Your fondest memory of your years at Notre Dame? Do you have? Can you say one?
Yeah. Father Theodore Hesburgh. Great man during a time, this was before Martin Luther King. And Father Theodore Hesburgh said, anywhere Tommy Hawkins isn't welcome, Notre Dame isn't welcome.
That's terrific.
Great man.
He had a great career at a great school. It's 30-29, the score here at halftime. Notre Dame leads by a single point, and we'll come back with the second half after this pause.
Where there's life, there's Bud. In a penthouse or bungalow, where the bright sun shines or candles glow. Budweiser beer is for folks who know where there's life. There's Bud, the king of beers, Budweiser.
For a limited time, go back in time with the 1936 Budweiser Gold Eagle Claw 6-pack.
What'd you have for dinner? A pound of fried chicken, mashed potatoes, corn and pudding. You? A sliver of trout spritzed with lemon and baby carrots!
Should have had Hungry Man from Swanson. A whole pound of the good hearty food that men love. Hungry Man, it's good to be full.
Right?
Here's a fun fact. Erected in 1963, the walnut stands 15 feet high.
I'll be in the car.
Go where you want with your free weekend from Avis.
Orca! Orca! Oh, I love Orca.
I thought you loved the humpback.
I recently changed my mind.
But I thought we established that the Orca was mine. Now rent for a week and get a free weekend to use later. Find our lowest prices at avis.com.
If you have $99 in the job, Loman and Woodbridge and Parsippany will put you behind the wheel today. If you have $99 in the job, the Loman Auto Group has a gigantic new and used car inventory ready for on-the-spot delivery. We don't care if you have the world's worst credit. Call the Loman Auto Credit Approval Hotline 24 hours a day, 1-888-345-CREDIT. Your current vehicle is worth a minimum.
Now, this is what they reverently call Touchdown Jesus, which was always visible from the Notre Dame football stadium. But now I understand, with the reconstruction of the stadium, making it bigger, you can't see it. But this man will hope that he helps, because Charlie Weiss has come in from the New England Patriots. They're here.
Notre Dame's Moses, leading us back to the promised land.
They all hope, and he feels confident. 30-29 Notre Dame. We start the second half. Falls, who's good from there, but that's off the rim. And right to Rutgers, Douby, who brings it up court. Rutgers, and Tommy will talk about it later, has not been shooting with a great percentage at all, and yet just 1 point behind. And Notre Dame has hit more than 50% of its shots and only 1 point ahead.
You know why? Rebounding. Rutgers out rebounding Notre Dame 19-14. But more important than that, on the offensive boards, Rutgers is killing Notre Dame 9-1. Notre Dame has to hit that offensive board. Second chance baskets.
Douby got it. And Rutgers has the lead.
That's that mid-range shot that I'm talking about that you don't see enough of.
And that was Quinn driving in. And now Notre Dame recaptures the lead. Mike Bray, the Notre Dame coach, up, stomping his feet to set up in their defense.
Right.
Quinn is looking around like who's got who there, but shot high, up, and no good, and Quinn gets the rebound. Bailey took the shot. Falls. There's Thomas. He's been almost silent, but not now. 34-31, the Irish.
Thomas needs to heat up. He's their leader, and he's been a great one.
Notre Dame is led by 5 on 2 occasions. Okay, it's up to you, Mr. Hawkins.
Looking at those first half stats, Rutgers shooting only 28% to 52% for Notre Dame, but it's the offensive rebounds, 9-1. Second chance baskets by Rutgers, 12-2 over Notre Dame. Not good. Got to balance it out.
Quinn takes the shot for 3 points. Oh, look at that. It goes in and out. Quinn follows up and puts it in.
You know, coaches then and now tell you, follow your shot. Don't stand there and watch it. And that's an excellent example. Great going, Quinn.
For the 3rd time, the Irish have a 5-point lead. Douby off the back of the rim, and it's chased down by Thomas of Notre Dame. Thomas feeds off to Quinn, who puts a reverse layup. That's the 3rd reverse layup we've seen. 2 of them have been by Quinn.
They work beautifully together. Thomas penetrating, looking for the breaking.
That is the largest lead that Notre Dame has had all night long, and they did it in the first 2.5 minutes. Notre Dame 38, Rutgers 31.
And the reverse.
We'll come back in a moment as we turn back the clock. The all-time leading scorer at Rutgers, Phil Sellers, about whom Dick Vitale talked at halftime. From 1972 to 76, Sellers racked up 2,399 points and helped the Scarlet Knights to that Final Four. He played but 1 season in the NBA. Phil Sellers of Rutgers. And Rutgers now trails by 7. And from the side, Douby misses, and there with a big rebound and a foul is Dennis Lattimore. You're watching ESPN Classics Turn Back the Clock College Basketball, presented by Budweiser.
Notre Dame on an 8-0 run in the beginning of the second half. Rutgers 1 out of 3. Notre Dame 4 of 6.
Lattimore out, and Jordan Cornette, who started most of the games where Lattimore started today, is back in. This is Bailey. And that is Cornette on him. And Bailey goes up. That's strong there, but he's walking. That's the first walking call. Last week, St. Louis UAB, I think we had 6 or 7 traveling calls. First I'd seen that many. I don't think they call it in pro basketball anymore. They just walk from basket to basket.
You get 3 steps before they even look at you.
Cornette tries the long shot from outside. No good, and Rutgers has the ball. They're down by 7. Keep waiting for Shields to break loose. He's our leading scorer. There's Bailey, and it's knocked away by Cornette. And Quinn will bring it up court.
Thomas got switched off on Bailey, and Cornette came over to help. Good defensive play.
Quinn wants the shot, gets it away to Francis, but it goes out of bounds. Now coming back in for Rutgers is Jimmy Inglis out of St. Lucia in the Caribbean. Big, big man, 6'9", 260. The biggest man to come out of the Caribbean in basketball is a fellow from St. Croix by the name of Tim Duncan.
Tim Duncan. And he always pays homage to you, right?
Oh, what a great pass that was by Shields, and Inglis put it in. 38-33. Oh, he passed it. Quinn was making the break for the basket. Cornette put it where he was. And in the Big East, there you are. What's going on?
Well, you got Boston College at the top, but I want to focus on Notre Dame. Notre Dame has to win this game, and they have to win against Pittsburgh. They're on the bubble. They want to go to the big dance, the NC2A tournament. They're going into the conference tournament, and all of the teams in the conference are welcome, but they've got to win these 2.
You know,
2 wins would give them 18 wins on the conference season.
As I recall, Connecticut's playing Baylor. Texas Tech playing Baylor, but Connecticut's playing tonight. If they win, Jim Calhoun will have won There's a shot from the corner for 3 points. His 700th game. If Texas Tech wins, Bobby Knight would have won his 850th game, and they're highly favored to beat Tech. And from the corner, Quinn hits again. And there's your big lead of 6 points. The biggest lead has been 7. Ball is coming up court as Wigan ties his shoe, but now they're ready. Fighting to get the ball up and in is Inglis.
Good shot. Coach Wallace wants them to get more penetration. Don't stand around and just pass that ball around the perimeter. If you don't have the shot, get it inside. Let's see what our big guys can do.
Lattimore. Looks like he wants to shoot, but gets it out to Francis. Falls, can't get it away. 4-point lead, Notre Dame. Lattimore goes around the corner, puts the ball out right to Douby of Rutgers. He's going to try to run the table here, and he's going to, whoops, he misses the shot, but down with it very quickly is Wigan.
Good defense by Thomas coming back to get a hand on that. Beautiful defensive play.
This is the man, Douby, and it's no good, and it goes right to Francis of Notre Dame. Off the glass. Falls. That's falls, and that's 3. 7-point lead again. Boy, he shot lights out. Remember the Boston College game? Falls just shot lights out that day.
Yeah, and he's capable of doing it. But Rutgers just had their hearts broken there. They had that easy layup, and then Falls comes down and hits a 3. That's a killer.
That's a 5-point difference right there.
Right.
Ball is put up by Webb, and he's fouled on his way in. 13:51 to go. Mike Bray won his 100th there 2 weeks ago at Notre Dame. He's won over 400 already. 13:51 to go in the game. It's 44-37 Notre Dame.
Saturday night.
Got to get some movement here. And Tony Watch drives inside. He gets the shot to go. Inglesby hawking Billett. Looks like he's going to let it go. Here is Billett down low. He fires. It goes at the buzzer. And Jeff Billett wins the game. Oh, what a big-time effort.
Those were the sights and sounds from Rutgers thrilling 1999 72-7 victory over Notre Dame. The Scarlet Knights finished that season with a 19-3 mark, and that was good enough for an NIT berth. Marquise Webb is at the line. And a game that Notre Dame leads by 7. Now lead by 6. Many of the Rutgers starters are not in there. Bailey is not in there. Joyce is not in there. Shields is not on the floor.
Shields has not had his game tonight. So you've got to have players that you can put in there going to get it done. Full court pressure by Rutgers. They're going to make something happen.
Thomas setting up. Wigan on Falls. They're counting down the shot clock, so Thomas gets it away, and it's too much time.
Right. You'll notice Thomas is coming down. He's controlling the ball, and Quinn and Falls on the wings are crossing and trying to get loose for that three-pointer. Rutgers playing good defense. Notre Dame basically playing for the 3 right now.
Joins it back in. Shot is missed by Douby, who follows up, and it's no good. Thomas has 4 points. He's big in that assist department with 10. But Thomas leads the team in scoring with 14 plus. Quinn has had a great night. And that was the other Cornet, Rick Cornet.
Rick very good inside. Notre Dame needs more of it.
7-point lead again, third time. 12-13 to go. 46-39, the Irish. Trying to get their 9th win in the Big East and 17 altogether. Webb from Wells' side, and that is off the back of the rim, and Webb almost got the rebound, but Joyce takes it away from him, puts it up and no good. Dip up again, out of bounds, and it looked like it went off Falls, and it did. It did go off Falls. That's a good call. 11:52 to go in the game. Notre Dame 46 and Rutgers 39.
The Honda.
Let's turn back the clock tonight to 1986 and pop culture from that year. Movie viewers were able to twist and shout with Forrest Bueller. Martin Luther King Day was celebrated for the first time ever. Lady Liberty celebrated her 100th birthday. And Greg LeMond became the first American ever to win the Tour de France since that time. Lance Armstrong has won 6 and is going for number 7. You're going to give us a version of twist and shout?
After I congratulate the men's swim team and the women's swim team, the first time that the men have won the Big East swimming title. It's great. Looking people. I'm not much for water, Jim. I'm a mountain climber.
Men won it the first time ever. The women, 3 in a row.
Right.
Joyce Center is a great place to play basketball if you're from Notre Dame. But you know that Rutgers is only behind Florida as the loudest place to play in all of America in basketball.
And it only seats 8,000 at the RAC on their campus.
What does the RAC stand for? Rutgers Athletic Center.
Exactly. And is it in New Brunswick or Piscataway?
New Brunswick, 45 minutes by train, an hour by drive.
From New York? Thank you, Jim.
Wigan puts it up, and it does not go in, and taken off the rim, and now Wigan follows and has it. And it's a 5-point game, 46-41.
And the pressure is starting to get to Notre Dame.
Gary Waters loves pressure defense, but that's too much pressure put on by Marquise Webb. ESPN Classic has more great college hoop action lineup for you starting tomorrow with complete coverage of the Central Intercollegiate Athletic Association Championship Tournament. This is a great Division II tourney, and it starts tomorrow afternoon at 1 o'clock Eastern, the quarterfinal. Then continues into the weekend with the semifinals Friday at 7, the championship Saturday at 6. It's more live college basketball destined to be a classic right here on ESPN Classic. For more information, log on to ESPN.com. Ball belongs to Notre Dame. And Falls will inbound to Thomas. Thomas feeds right past his intended receiver, Israel. And here's Douby passing to the side, and that is a miss by Webb. And ball belongs to Notre Dame. They had to wait to make the call. There's Falls. He's been hitting all night and hits there. Now we've got an 8-point lead, and time is called. ESPN Classics Turn Back the Clock College Basketball is presented by Budweiser. Mike Bray, very successful as a coach here at Notre Dame, and now his team is up by 8. LaFonso Ellis played here at Notre Dame from 1988 to 92, and he ranks 12th on the school's all-time scoring list, 3rd in rebounding. Ellis led the Irish to 2 NCAA tournament appearances and played 11 seasons in the NBA. You only played 10.
That was enough for me. You know, I'm looking at all of this footage that they have. Did you know I played before color film?
Well, they didn't have film back then. That's why you're not on.
This hurts.
Your years were what? 57,
This
8, 9?
55 through 59.
55 through 59. You played as a freshman?
No, you couldn't.
That's right.
Not that time. Only the 3 varsity years, sophomore through senior.
A 6'5" center, All-American. There's Joyce, the big tough man, going up, and the basket, I don't know if it counts or not. There's a foul away from the ball. We were talking about Saturday night, Tommy saying a few words. Well, he should say more than a few, what he always does, but he is a member of the Notre Dame All-Century team, and deservedly so. Twice an All-American here in South Bend. Pass in, and that was a good pass, and Joyce converts. Notre Dame went to sleep there on the inbound pass. Francis in the corner. Quinn has a ball simply taken away from him by Inglis. Douby wants that shot. He's very good, and there he has brought the game a little bit closer.
And the pressure defense has made a difference. It's getting Rutgers back in this game. Notre Dame can't seem to get tracked on an offensive flow there. It's not happening.
That was another one of your mid-court baskets. Good for two. It's 49-45. Well, this is what Gary Water plays all the time, the coach of Rutgers. That press. Francis gets the ball out, and Israel has it, puts it up, but it's going to be very short. Picked up by Joyce, and Rutgers has the ball and a chance to grow even closer. Wigan puts it up, but is fouled on the way in.
Two things are happening here, Jim, and Notre Dame's going to have to be very conscious of it. Here's a foul. Look at this guy. He just comes right down the lane there and tries to lay it up. But Notre Dame is allowing that kind of penetration, and when they do finally get the ball, they're getting hit with some full court pressure. And we're in a game.
Both cornets are now back in, Rick and Jordan. Non-shooting foul. The foul was on Israel. And this is Quezada, who's come in. He played a lot in the first half. First time we've seen him in this half. He wanted that basket, and it's not a good shot at all.
Poor shot selection. Poor shot selection.
Falls, look out. He's dangerous, but not this time. And there's Joyce with the rebound. He's their muscle man, and he's done a good job tonight under the boards. 8.5 minutes to go. And a 4-point lead. That's Joyce. The big man gets it underneath, up and in, and it's good. That's Wigan.
And we got a 2-point game.
At one point, it was an 8-point game. Well, there he is again. Quezada, who just took a poor shot, called for a foul.
Thomas is going to have to crank him up, Jim. The fewest of shots attempted in the game this year was 8. Only time this season he has had fewer than 10 shots in a game.
Up. From the side, off the rim by Falls, picked up by Thomas. Falls going to try again. He's awfully good, but again off the rim, and it was knocked away by Waterstrap of Rutgers, right back to Notre Dame.
A shooter doesn't quit in a situation like that. They'll get it back to Falls, and he'll can this one. Third time a charm.
Oh, look at this, an easy shot, right by Waterstrap.
Yes.
He made 2 mistakes there, one defensively and one throwing the ball the wrong way. Underneath it joins, and it's knocked away and fouled.
Stop.
Well, they've called a timeout. It was a big 8-point lead, and now it's down to 4. And Rutgers got the ball with 7.5 minutes to go. 47 for Rutgers, 51 for Notre Dame. In the first round of the 2003 NCAA tournament, Notre Dame edged the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee 70-69 behind 27 points from Chris Thomas, who only has a couple tonight, and a late putback by Turin Francis. The Irish went on to defeat Illinois before falling to Arizona, and nobody has beaten Illinois this season, and the question is, who is going to beat Illinois this season, if anybody does? What an incredible 3-guard offense they've got. They're all so quick and such good shooters.
Well, Joyce is at the line now, and Joyce has 12 rebounds tonight. He's really been on those boards. Rutgers out-rebounding Notre Dame on the offensive boards 16-4. Not a good balance.
Repeat that again. 16-4.
16-4.
And look who's at the line. Douby, who's a 75% free throw shooter and has been near perfect tonight.
Yeah, but
I don't think he's the guy that belongs there.
I think it's Joyce who's supposed to be there. But the referee is saying, no, he's not in the game.
The crowd is aware that Douby was not the guy that was fouled. (51-48). Well, stranger things have happened.
Oh, I see what happened. He got cut over on the sideline there, and he's bleeding.
Injured.
So he cannot come in the game if you're bleeding. So
unfortunately, Douby, a great free throw shooter, took the shot.
Hey, Douby, take these for me.
51-49. It's been 8 points, and now it's 2. The Notre Dame lead. Rutgers had led twice. Once by 2 and once by 1. There's Thomas getting the ball away, and that's right through there for 2. 53-49, 7 minutes left. Tournament time coming up 1 week from today in the Big East.
Keep in mind that Rutgers is 2-12 in conference play this year. You think this won't be a big win for them if they can pull it out?
Douby does not. Ball goes up and is brought down by Rick Cornett. And remember, the Big East tournament, all teams play. You don't qualify for the tournament. All teams play.
It's not true in every conference, though.
That's right. And there are 11 of them in this one. They're from outside, and that shot is off by Thomas. Ball knocked away to Quinn. (53-49). Notre Dame is led by as much as 8, but just has not yet been able to put away Rutgers. Thomas driving, taking the shot on a fall away, and knocks it through. That's 2 in a row for him. That is 55-49.
Mid-range, I love it.
You love it. Hank Gray must have been listening to you today. There's Wigan coming up. The man that you've not really heard of that we expect is Shields, who is the top scorer for Rutgers. The ESPN Classic brings you more great live sports action this weekend. We showcase the first round action of the 2005 Davis Cup tennis. The United States looks to return to the championship form. They haven't been there in some years. They'll start down this road with a match against Croatia. Don't miss a single ace, lob, or overhead in the 2005 Davis Cup. Live on ESPN Classic starting Sunday at 5 p.m. Eastern. For more information, log on to ESPN.com.
Thomas playing the ultimate floor general tonight. Has 12 assists. His career high is 13. So he could surpass that this evening.
Shields, who leads the club in scoring with better than 13 a game, has 2 tonight. 2. Thomas was almost as quiet till the last couple of minutes for Notre Dame. 6-point ball game. In the corner, that's going to be Wigan, and it's off the front of the rim. And Joyce has a rebound. What a job he has done on rebounding.
Another offensive rebound.
Another chance for the Scarlet Knights. That was Webb underneath, and then the ball, that's going to be Joyce, and there's a foul called. Shields scored low. The lowest he'd done was last month. He only got 3 against Connecticut. He's only got 2 here. ESPN Classics turn back the clock. College basketball, as you know, is presented by Budweiser. Francis is up for Notre Dame and will come in. Let's see who goes out. it will be Cornette goes out. Rick Cornette, number 11.
Mike Bray told us this afternoon at the shoot-around that one of his biggest problems this year has been getting some consistent play from his inside people. And you've got to have that. If you're going to shake loose your three-point shooters, you got to have some inside play, and they have to do it consistently.
Good shot there by Inglis. And Mike Bray, another disciple of Mike Krzyzewski at Duke. 8 years he was there when they won a couple of championships. He's perfect from there. And it's 55-51 with a little bit less than 5 minutes to go. Israel back in the ball game. He's got the ball now. That's the other Cornette. That's Turin, or rather Jordan Cornette. Falls through again with a three-pointer. 58-51. Quinn is going to the locker room. Looks like he's hobbling a little bit, doesn't it? Like there might be an ankle or something.
Yeah. You've got some ankle turners out there.
Well, he's come back, but he's been a big man. Ball knocked away by Cornette and knocked right over to Falls. And taken away by Wigan. And that is Webb in his hands. It's blocked by Falls.
Give it to Thomas. Let him bring it up. He's your man.
Time now becomes somewhat of a factor. Quinn, who was hurt, has 14 points.
And if Notre Dame wins this, they've struggled to win it. They don't have their flow yet.
Well, remember, they have lost two, as we said earlier, Connecticut and UCLA, working on a two-game losing streak. Into the corner. That was no good there by Cornette.
That is not Cornette's shot.
Douby passes out and passes almost out of bounds, but saved, and from the corner, Wigan takes a shot. No good, and Cornette, who missed the shot, gets the rebound. We've had some droughts here on both teams. The last 3.5 minutes of the first half, nobody scored a basket. 3 minutes to go now, 58-51. Shot clock still a lot to go, 15 seconds. Thomas fouled as he went by Webb. We're on the campus of Notre Dame, the University of Notre Dame in South Bend. And that is a familiar sight to all who watch basketball or football, the Golden Dome.
Mr. Goodwrench.
We're turning back the clock tonight, our final of 9 games here on the ESPN Classic. And tonight presented by Budweiser. Notre Dame 58, Rutgers 51. Balls has 18 points. Quinn, who had that brief injury, 14 points for Notre Dame. Douby with 19 for Rutgers, and Inglis with 12. He's only been averaging 5 all year long. 58-51. Clock shows 2:50 to go. There are your field goal percentages again. Rutgers is way down, and Notre Dame is way up. Has been the whole game that way, but they've had a tough time because of those rebounding, the offensive and second chance points.
Hitting the shots, but not hitting the boards.
Clock just favors the Irish. Shot clock, of course, is still on. Thomas. Nope. And that is Inglis coming down with it. Almost an interception by Thomas. Brought down in the corner is Webb. He doesn't shoot often from there, but that's good for Webb.
And see, that's the beauty of the three. You're back in this game in no time.
58-53. 2 minutes now. Notre Dame looking for its 17th win. And Rutgers trying to avoid its 17th loss of the season. Ball's looking to get the ball away, but he's all over him as well. I'll make that Douby. Passes out. The big man, Israel, goes up and gets the shot.
Good control. A lot of hands grabbing in there. Israel kept control of it. Scored a key basket.
Rutgers needs some points in a hurry. Joyce can't get it away, and there's a foul call. And I think the foul is on Israel.
Here's a replay.
Whoops, foul's on Douby. Foul there by Webb on Israel.
You know, that's something that they want. They want a big man down there who they know can't dribble the ball. That's why it's important to get it to your backcourt people who can bring it up. Nice work.
A lot of time off his clock. They only got 1:08 to go, and they've got 22 seconds on the shot clock. Woo! Israel saves it. And time is called, and he's almost bouncing out of bounds.
I know. He's up in the air. He's looking down at the line, and he gets that timeout call.
It is 60-53. 7-point lead as we turn back the clock. Let's go back to 2002, the first round of the 2002 NCAA tournament. Notre Dame thumped Charlotte 82-63. Matt Carroll and Ryan Humphrey scored 20 points each, but the Irish fell in the second round to Duke, 84-77. And the score here, Notre Dame looks as though they're on the verge of breaking the two-game losing streak. Rutgers looks as though they're going to lose their 13th in the tournament. As Coach Gary Waters has said, this is a learning experience. He's had to patchwork his club. He lost his entire front line from last year. His star player returning went out on an ACL, and he's been making do. He's encouraged with what has happened, but figures that the experience will pay off next year, not this year. But remember, he won over 20 games last year and went to the NIT final. He's a very successful coach. They're running time off the clock now. And a foul against Thomas as he tried to drive for the basket with but 51 seconds to go. And this looks like a lock here for Notre Dame, barring an incredible finish, such as the Clemson had last night. I hope you saw that. Wow. Thomas. Bingo. 8-point lead. That's been their biggest lead. They've had it 2 or 3 times. Let's see if he can make it a bigger lead. 9 points. Oh, looks like Notre Dame's going to be 17-9, 9-6 in the Big East. And Rutgers is going to be 9-17 and 2-13 in the Big East when all is said and done. Ball went right off Webb and out of bounds. A little low on the pass and went right off the lower part of his body. Thomas has 12 assists. Remember, he had over 800 coming in and over 2,000 points. Only the third NCAA player ever to do such a thing.
One below his all-time high. And, you know, I'm looking at Coach Waters here. This is one of the most determined, patient, dedicated men I've ever talked to. He wants to get it done, and he feels that he has a program at Rutgers that's going to bring them back to the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, the standings, Boston College on top. Notre Dame would be 9-6. You know, well, that's enough, but then again, you got the tournament coming up, and they can improve on that quite a bit in the tournament.
17 wins may be enough, but I would love to see a win over Pittsburgh because degree of difficulty is much greater than Rutgers, and Saturday is a very important day.
The guy that said I would love to see a win over Pittsburgh is a Notre Dame grad who was 3-time All-American. Does not reflect the feeling of anybody else here. We're supposed to be bipartisan here.
I am bipartisan, but I'm just talking about this team getting into the big dance. I would like to see that.
Mike Brave, such a great job he's done here at Notre Dame in his 4 years. More than 100 wins, and he's about to break that 2-game losing streak.
We've got another injury situation where Thomas has sort of skinned his elbow there, and he may have to come out of the game. I don't know. The referee at the timeout. So we'll
take a 30-second timeout. 30-second timeout.
I think that's a good rule, Jim. If you're out there and you got to cut in something, you got to have it taken care of. You know, basketball court is not the place to be dropping blood on the floor and making it slick and all of those different things. It is a tough game. It is a rugged game. It is a fast game. And the physical play is just awesome as you see it. As you're looking, there's pushing and shoving and there's speed, and you're going at it.
Let's jump ahead until Saturday, the 100th anniversary of Notre Dame college basketball. Give us some names that are going to be there.
Kelly Tripucka, Austin Carr, Adrian Dantley,
Tom Hawkins.
Troy Murphy cannot be here, but those who cannot be here, they're sending family here. It's a great thing, 100 years of Notre Dame basketball. And thank God somebody remembered, because they voted on the internet, you know. You had to come onto the website and vote. And you could only vote once.
How many are on that all-century team? Of
25.
25.
Right.
Foul of Douby fouls Francis in the last gasp of the game. 31 seconds to go, and Notre Dame with an insurmountable 8-point lead, I would assume.
You know what you don't see now, Jim? You don't see big men who can really handle the ball that well. It's like a duck out of water when they have to get out there and really put the ball on the floor. Coaches don't like to see that anyway, but you looked at Francis over there as he got fouled. He didn't want to be in that situation. That's...
Nine-point lead. The leading scorer is Douby, but that's not unusual for him. 19 points as he is fouled out. Averages about 15 a game, but his team is losing. Shields back in. That's Joyce, and he misses, and Francis with a big rebound. And now Wiggins just wraps him up with 20 seconds to go. And you can tell that they feel that Notre Dame has got this game. As you look around, you'll see empty seats across the way. We didn't see those just 10 minutes ago.
But it wasn't a game, Jim, that the crowd could really get into. It was a struggle, and the crowd is happy that Notre Dame has won on the home court, but they don't feel that excitement, that verve that they need to feel. It's something that you can get when Pittsburgh comes to town. Francis doing very well at the line.
Douby remains in the game. We had him at 5 fouls. Obviously, he did not have 5. He's in the game at the moment. Francis again.
4 in a row.
And that's a 12-point lead. There's Shields. He's been shut down tonight. Wiggins, no good. Tries again and gets it. It's all over. Douby goes over and congratulates Thomas, wraps his arms around him. We're going to have a few people to talk to. Tommy Hawkins, the former Notre Dame All-American. He's happy. His team won 66-56.
High endurance ball.
Notre Dame broke its 2-game losing streak to Connecticut and to UCLA. They have defeated 66-56 Rutgers. They're now 17-9, 9-6 in the Big East. Rutgers is now 9-17, 2-13 in the Big East. And former All-American, what a pleasure to work with Tommy Hawkins tonight, is on the court.
Thank you very much, Jim, and Coach Bray and Colin. Struggling win you take a victory how it comes, but this wasn't easy against a team that only won 2 conference games.
And I never thought it would be easy, Tommy. Our league is the deepest in the country. We've struggled with every team in our league. I'm afraid to play them again, but I thought we did what we needed to do at key times. I thought we defended pretty well at key times to find a way to win.
Right. You don't seem to have that flow in your offense that you want. You shot a lot of mid-range shots today, which I think is great. It's encouraging, but the flow from outside to inside doesn't seem to be there just yet.
I'd agree with you. If I had you inside, we'd throw that thing in all the time. You average 17 rebounds a game, I could use you. But we do need to keep working on that. We're 9-7 in the league. I'm really proud of our guys. 9-6, excuse me. I'm proud of our guys.
Colin Falls, I tell you, this guy comes in, and you were a savior tonight. You were hitting that shot, but you guys struggled to get the shots, didn't you?
Yeah, I mean, they play good defense, and we were pretty solid on defense. I mean, it was a defensive struggle tonight, but I mean, we made them when they counted, I guess.
You got Pittsburgh coming in. That ends your conference season. You think you can run the table here and get this second win?
Absolutely. I mean, it's the biggest game of our season. It just helps out our tournament resume, and we're just going to come back tomorrow and prepare.
Good luck to you. Keep up the good work. You're shooting that three-pointer with style. Good to see you, Colin. Take care, and let's go back to Jim at the table.
The pleasure it has been to work with you tonight. Our final score, 66-56, Notre Dame. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more information, log on to ESPN.com. Coming up next on ESPN Classic, the 1999 College Football Classic between Michigan and Notre Dame. Jim Simpson for Tommy Hawkins. Good night from South Bend.